Hey, welcome to another episode of Camping Camera. We've got a really cool camera system to show you today. Hey, welcome back everyone. If you remember a few months ago, we did a video where we installed a backup camera system on our full-size travel trailer made by the Haloview company. It's been a good system. It works well. I really like it. I like it so much that I actually reached out to Haloview a few weeks ago and I said, hey, do you make a camera system that will go on the back of my truck so that it will be easier for me to hitch up to my camper when I'm going to go somewhere? And they said, yeah, we make one that goes on your license plate frame. So they were kind enough to send me this license plate camera that we'll be mounting today. And they also sent me this external antenna, which is supposed to help reception be even better on your monitor in the truck, which I've really not had any issues with anyway, but we may as well go ahead and install it. But while I was talking to Haloview, they said, hey, we've got this new product that we've just launched and we'd like for you to do a review on it and see what you think. And this is super cool. I didn't even know this thing existed. This is a replacement marker light, side marker light for my full-size travel trailer. If you look at my camper on the side, you'll see an amber side marker light towards the front and you'll see a red one towards the back. Well, this replaces the amber marker light towards the front, and it also has a built-in camera, which is supposed to work with my existing monitor from Haloview that I already have on the dash of the truck. Now, this system came with two cameras, one for the left and one for the right. I think I can get a split screen view on that. We'll find out when we install it. But this just seems like a super cool product. It would sure eliminate blind spots going down the interstate when I'm trying to change lanes. So I was excited to say, yeah, I'd love to try this product. So they were kind enough to send this over as well. So hey, let's get to installing this thing and see how it works. So we're out here at the camper and I want to show you the location of these marker light cameras. This is the left side, or the driver's side, towards the front, and again that's just an amber marker light, and then there'll be one on the other side. It's real easy. You first just start, on this camper anyway, you start by just taking a flathead screwdriver, popping it in there, and the lens of this amber marker light comes off. And if you look, you'll see two Phillips head screws, one right here and one right here, and those just come out with a screwdriver, and then you just pop this fella off. Now this one happens to be sealed with some sealant, so you have to give it a good little tug, but it will come out. Going to remove two Phillips head screws. There we go. So we're over here on the passenger side of the camper now, and I've kind of skipped ahead a little bit. I did exactly what I just mentioned. I just took two screws out of this with a screwdriver, grabbed a hold of it and just popped it off by hand. Not much to see there. But what I want to show you is that on this particular camper, this marker light had two black wires coming out of it. Each one had a wire nut on the end that connected to two white wires. Now the white wire that's just solid white with some letters and numbers on it is the ground wire on this camper, and this white wire with a green stripe happened to be the hot wire on this camper. Now from the manufacturer, the only problem I ran into is that the old assembly had some silicone around it, and I'm going to have to remove that before I can put the new assembly on there. And I've just got this plastic scraping tool I picked up somewhere. Let's give this a try. So yeah, that's going to work. Just going to take a little elbow grease, but yeah, it is coming off. You can see it. You can see the old plastic or silicone scraping off there. Now for the installation of the camera. On this one, there's a little slot down here at the end of this marker light. You pry with a flathead screwdriver, and then it's exposed and ready for installation. So to install this, we basically just need to hook up a few wires and put in 4 screws. Now, the camera itself has a positive and a negative wire, and the LED light has a positive and negative wire. So what we'll do is we'll put the two positives with the positive on the trailer, and the two grounds with the ground on the trailer. So I'm going to take the ground wire and match it up with the ground wire on the camper and give it just a little bit of a twist. And then I'm going to stick both of them down in this sleeve that was supplied with the camera system, and I'm going to crimp those. So now we'll crimp the positive wire of the marker assembly with the positive wire coming out of the camper. And again, I'm going to give it just a little bit of a twist. This really ain't going to do too much, just make it easier to go into the connectors about it. Then we'll stick it in the connector, make sure it's slid all the way in good, and give it a crimp. So kind of skipping ahead again, I just put some electrical tape around that connection, not for the reason you would think. I basically did that so that when I stick all those wires back inside, if one of them ever were to come loose, I can still pull it back out with the whole assembly. Because if every one of those wires ever came loose and got way down inside here, I might not be able to fish it back out. So now it's time to actually mount it. So all the wires are stuffed in nicely, and I'm looking at it, making sure it's level. And I'm going to use these self-tapping screws. Which seem to work pretty well. I will probably go back and put some sealant around this one just like the original one from the factory, but it looks to be really nice and secure, and it's got a nice rubber seal around the back of it, so it should be watertight. And in case you're wondering, yes, I can still open the cargo door. It goes this far before it hits the camera, which is plenty far enough to still get everything out that I need. There we go. So again, I may come back with some sealant and go around there like they did from the factory, but that is an installed camera. I'm going to adjust the angle here right fast. Okay, so now we've got the cameras mounted to the side of the camper. We have power run to them. Now remember, we also have a third camera on the very back of the camper that we put on in a previous episode. All three of these will work in unison. The next step is to pair the cameras to the monitor, and there's basically just a button on the back of the camera, and you push that and select pair on the monitor, and it happens. I'm not even going to show you that, it's so easy. But how you activate the whole thing when you want to pull the camper down the road is to first turn the monitor on and then turn on the cameras. Now you turn on the cameras by basically just turning on your lights in your truck, because the lights on the camper are activated when you turn the lights on in your truck, and that's also what activates the cameras. Now that we have the cameras hooked up on the camper, let's put the backup camera on the truck. Alright, so I think I just hit the jackpot here. I'll have to admit I was a little concerned about the thoughts of tearing into the truck's factory wiring to do this, but look here. You've got the backup light or reverse light. All I have to do is come around and find the wires that comes out of that bulb, because the only time that bulb's going to be on is when I'm backing up. And I'll just splice into these wires to run the camera. Now, here's where I hit the jackpot. Look at this. If you can get down in here with the camera. See that daylight? The cavity underneath this tail light has got a hole in the very bottom of it where I can run the wires straight down. So basically I can run the wire from where I splice it down through that cavity under the truck and over to where the license plate's going to be. How easy is that? So the first thing to do is to remove the reverse bulb and get those wires out where we can work on them. You know what the definition of commitment is? That right there. That's commitment. Yep. So it looks like the black wire is ground and the blue wire is hot. Alright, the blue's good, second blue's good, and the red camera wire is good. Alright, so that worked out great. I'm not worried about making this watertight because it's going to be in behind this housing. I'm putting electrical tape on it just to hold it all together snug to help minimize vibration and chafing on these wires. Alright, I need to put the bulb back in. Okay, and stick this back in the tail light assembly. We need to fish this wire that goes to the camera. Need to straighten it out a little bit first so I can fish it. We just need to fish it down inside that hollow spot, or that void I showed you a moment ago. Just to make it easy on myself, I took the tailgate off. Of course, the tailgate just pops off. That way I could get in behind the bumper easy to run the wire. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my license plate on. And yeah, I've got it taped up for the nut jobs in the world. They're out there, that's for sure. I'm just going to slide this over. Get that one started. The wire for the camera just comes out right here. I just pulled it up from the bottom from under the truck. I'm just going to see if it'll plug in right here. There's a special way this thing plugs in, I'm sure. Yeah, that's in right there. And I'm just going to test it out before I go any further. Trying to hide the wire. Look at that. And it is showing my trailer hitch. Oh my gosh. This is going to be so wonderful. Alright y'all, we need to talk. In my world, a backup camera would be so wonderful in this truck. This is a 2011 Ford F-150. I don't know if you could get a backup camera on these trucks that year or not. This one didn't have one. And probably at least every other time, every third time, this truck is going down the road in motion, it's got a trailer behind it. Some kind of utility trailer, cargo trailer, boat, camper, teardrop, whatever. And I spend so much time just trying to get this thing lined up to a trailer hitch. And it's always an ordeal. I'm getting, a lot better at it, but still you got to get out, the truck, go back there 2 or 3 times. I am super excited to see what this thing is going to do. This has the potential of making my life way easier. So let's give it a try. Look at that. Would you look at that? Look at that. Oh, this is wonderful. Obviously I need a little practice, but now you saw it just turn off. That's because I put it back in drive and the tail light or the backup lights went off. I just put it back in reverse and the camera came back on. That's the way I've got it set up on mine. You could probably set it up where it's on a switch and you can make it stay on all the time. But for me, this is what I did. All right, y'all, was that not money or what? Absolutely amazing. For somebody like myself who pulls a ton of campers and cargo trailers and utility trailers and little john boats, other things, this is going to save me so much time when I get ready to go somewhere, or if I'm hooking up to the camper to leave a campsite. My teardrop camper that I built, I named it the Camp Easy, and I wanted it, I want camping to be easy, and something like this is really going to help make camping easy. And just like that, everything's done. We've got the cameras on the camper, we've got the backup camera on the truck, so let's take it down the road and see how everything works. So we're out here on the highway trying out the Haloview. We've got a multi-lane highway coming up. It's like 3 or 4 lanes up here. So we'll see how it goes when we're trying to pass vehicles or vehicles are coming around us. But just looking at the monitor right now on regular 2-lane highways, pretty good. All right, here's the test. We're going to pass a big truck pulling a trailer. Get up here where the sun don't see it. All right, so he's beside of us. There he is in the blind spot camera. And it looks like I'm far enough I can get around him now. Bam! Works. Joanne, I need to change lanes. What should I do? I know. I'll consult my new side view camera system. All right, so there we have it. We've put the cameras on the camper and we put the backup camera on the truck, and that was a super easy installation. It was way easier than I ever expected. Pretty much anyone can do it with minimal skills. And as far as the usability, as a passenger, what'd you think about it?
I was very impressed with the video quality.
Yep. And you mentioned in the vehicle that you liked it better than your car, right?
Yeah, the quality is actually better than my Pathfinder.
Yeah, she's got a backup camera on the Pathfinder. And the picture, I mean, it's okay, but it's kind of dark.
It's dark,
isn't it? Yeah, so the picture quality is better. Now, there is a little bit of a jerkiness or lag. So if you're like one of these nerds, technology nerd, and you want hyper smooth video, you're probably going to notice that, but it's not enough to cause a problem.
No.
So, hey, anyway, we're not sponsored by Haloview. They're not paying us for this. They did send us the cameras, but I'm giving an open and honest review. And I really like what I see. I look forward to using it. So, hey, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, be sure to hit that button. Like this episode. If you do, that really helps us out. And till next time, take care. We'll see you on the road.